Frankie, 4 Macs bound for the trash today on BoxMac.
We were sent Meijer a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
We have 4 deluxes here that we wanted to sample, but time has a way of catching up with you.
Yeah, you send more interesting Macs.
Yes.
And then they go up in the queue.
Then there's Christmas specials and Halloween specials and the Christmas special before that.
2 holiday seasons turned over. We kind of liked the regular Meijer BoxMac.
Oh, we loved it.
And we liked the Luxes.
Yes.
And so we would love to try these 4. So today we're shooting on February 10th.
2018, year of our Mac. December 9th. 2016.
Yeah.
November 5th, 2016. January 28th, 2017.
Okay.
January 6th, 2017.
So they're all over a year. We did an episode once where we experimented with just how old is too old with dry Macs.
And that was pretty old, if I recall. I think that was...
a year and a half, I think.
Ooh.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And it had problems.
Yes.
We have reason to believe Deluxes with their more authentic cheese.
Yes, with the cheese sauce, I think the main problem is that cheese sauce does not stay shelf stable in the long term. When they get near the end of the date, they get more and more sour. Sour, 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 until they get inedible.
This is the problem, practically speaking, with this television program.
It is.
You cover us in Macs.
Yes, and we love it.
We couldn't possibly process them at the rate that we're sent them.
That's right.
And if we're gonna want to try Meijer without having to ask someone to send more Meijer,
Yeah.
we're just gonna have to power through this. We could have lied to you. We could have said that they were all within date.
Oh, yeah.
We could have approximated a reaction.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's say it was a little too sour. We
Yeah,
could have
we could
acted
just-
like it was a little less
yeah.
sour. But I think that they're gonna be good. What we have? We have a 4 cheese, shells and cheese,
Sharp cheddar.
and one that's just called Deluxe. They're all basically the same thing, which is like cheesy. But there's no real diversity between them. Like,
None.
there's not like a white cheddar or
Well,
like a
the 4 cheese might have a slightly different flavor from the sharp cheddar. And
sour, less sour.
yes.
Rotten.
Rotten, less rotten. Blue, more blue, less blue. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. We haven't done a BoxMac in the proper kitchen nigh on several months.
Yeah.
So here we are again.
Yeah, here we are.
It didn't go anywhere.
No, the kitchen's still here. It didn't get sold off.
John still lives at a place.
I do. This is S plus C, Santa Claus. You ever get gifts when you were a child and your parents are too lazy to write from Santa Claus, so they just write from SC?
No.
There's no salt in that water.
I thought you salted like slightly after it was put in.
No.
It always bugged me to think parents wouldn't take credit for their expensive gifts they're giving their children. Like I struggle with that with my kid. Like, well, I'm gonna buy her something really nice and then give somebody else, some fictional character, credit.
Do you have like a rough plan on how you're gonna manage Santa with your child?
Nina's pretty anti-Santa.
Yep.
I'm not I'm like passively anti-Santa. I think that when you start getting into the long con of Santa, when you're like going out of your way to be like, well, the only reason you saw what you saw is because of this, and if you believe, then, well, actually only people who believe can see him, and that's why. As soon as you start getting into all the crazy fantasy stuff of it,
yeah,
you're lying to your kid way too much. I think that if Nina didn't feel the way she felt, the way I'd go about it is I'd be like, yeah, Santa, sure. And I would kind of like let him live fictionally until it became obvious, even the slightest bit, that he wasn't real. And I'd be like, yeah, of course not. But there's a lot of like going out of your way to be like, there's kids in the room, we all gotta act like Santa's real.
Yeah, I know. I think that's utterly ridiculous, by the way.
How do you make an atheist faster than that? Well, this is all easily transferable and applicable to the other thing. About the other guy in the sky. And then Elf on the Shelf got out of control. Now there is like an inanimate object that moves on its own.
Oh, God.
Don't they do something with reindeer footsteps or something?
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. Like, it's a con. You're setting up all this, your falsifiable evidence. It seems you're going out of your way.
The whole eating the cookies thing.
To manipulate your child. And if your only reason for doing it is like, it was fun for me.
But it creates magic.
Yeah, I'm like, well, right, magic doesn't exist, you made it up. But the metaphysical, it never demonstrates itself in real life. It's somewhat obvious even to a child that Anyway, BoxMac.
BoxMac. You got my full system here. You got your sharp silver, your basic small pot, your 4C large pot, your S plus C TL mead pot.
I hope that means something to you.
If I drop dead right now, you should be able to recover this.
I left extensive documentation.
Yes, I did, in the form of marker things on packets of cheese.
Well, the pasta's probably fine. Uh-oh.
It's okay.
What's the matter with it?
It might just be cheap.
It has AIDS, but other than that.
It has AIDS, but other than that, it's doing
fine.
fine. This pasta's been in the pantry for so long, it's got AIDS. That'd be a very tasteless way to describe bad pasta. BoxMac has introduced me to more supermarkets than I ever knew existed.
Yes, me too.
And now that we know like about Kroger and et cetera, I'm finding that like in popular culture, I'll hear supermarkets referenced that I now pick up on.
Yes, whereas before they were just kind of like words.
Yeah.
And I know that a man's collection must be secured and protected at all costs until he gets ashamed of it and ditches it in an alley behind a Kroger's.
I always appreciated The Simpsons try and save.
Yeah.
Before you know it, we'll be at the try and save. I'm going down to the try and save.
Try and save. It's a classic Simpsons joke, right?
It's perfect.
Because it sounds close enough to a
Yeah.
real store name.
Try and save. Curt and brilliant.
Yes. Like so much of The Simpsons was.
Yeah. You forget sometimes because The Simpsons has been bad for so long.
Yeah.
You know that it used to be good, and then you go, nah, I don't
It's like a relationship that went really bad, and you forget about all the good times you
yeah.
had.
Thank God you have a Plex server full of the good times.
Okay, Noodles. I don't like you, you don't like me. You need 2 minutes.
You came over to the house, we were watching some Oscar movies.
Yes.
And we had some Cracker Barrels.
And it was delicious. It was wonderful. What
And
a nice time.
I made it. John
You did a great job.
sat around and I made the mac.
Yeah.
And this happened completely without cameras rolling.
It does happen once in a great while.
I see you have a single cup there.
I do. We're going to try it on a show.
And then they have frozen ones now too.
They do, and I have had it.
There's so many Cracker Barrel ones we still have to do.
I know. But there's shows like this that we've been putting off for...
Yeah. It's things like those Cracker Barrel frozens that make Meijer wither and die. Fortunately, the Mac database says whether or not the Mac is expired.
All right, Frankie. I'm going to put you in charge of cheese. Deploy that rotted cheddar.
Deploy the rocket cheddar. Yeah, why didn't we put the cheese in the pot first?
Yeah,
That's what we always do.
no.
All right, let me smell this thing first. It smells fine. This might be all right. This might be okay.
Smells okay.
Yeah, it does. Hey, why are you preparing it differently on that one?
What? This is the way I've always done.
Carol, this was for you right out of here. Somebody left a comment recently that was like, that's what happens when your buddy Premiere Pros you.
I'm getting a strange feeling about these Macs, Frankie. You know, like an impending sense
What,
of
like,
doom.
like night terrors?
Yeah, impending doom.
What, like when you get like muscle aches before like a storm?
No, just like you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. I am not one to be squeamish about dates, right? I think dates on food are bull usually. For example, canned food expiration dates, bull. It'll last for years more after that. Eggs expiration date, bull. Deluxe Mac?
Expire Meijer. Expire Meijer! I can't wait until we all descend upon this rotted Mac.
And if this was a prop show, I think we're fine.
You want to do 4 cheese first?
All right.
Tastes fine to me. Quite good even.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, it's a little weird. Do you taste the sour undertone?
Sure, but that's common in deluxes.
It's edible, certainly, 100%. Let's try shells.
Shells and cheese. These are always extra sour, it seems, the
Yes.
shells. And it is quite sour.
Yeah. Again, not inedible. It's got a real strong sour undernote.
We've had a lot of bad Macs on this show.
Yeah.
And so far, these are like not even in like the 40th percentile.
These are, you could eat this. This is the common everyday deluxe. Nice and creamy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. I bet fresh these were utterly delicious, by the way. This is still really good. This one's fine. It tastes like deluxe cheese.
Pasta
common-
and deluxe cheese.
Yeah, the pasta's okay. It's not like super high grade pasta. I'm pretty confident I'm tasting the age, but it's not unmanageable. This is a sharp cheddar. I think it's fine. The sharpness is not the same as the sourness, right?
I mean, it's a strong flavor, actually.
Yeah.
But sharp cheddar.
It's possibly become sharper with time.
It had time to sharpen.
Because we'd never done expired deluxe before. I had thought that when we did Loretta, we were having a serious expiration problem.
It's just a terrible Mac.
And this proves it, that old deluxes, I mean, they lose a little bit, but it's still fine.
Old Macs die hard.
The old Macs die hard.
So next time, we're going to try deluxes we don't know if we've had or not.
Yeah, we're pretty sure we haven't, but we didn't go through the effort of finding out that time on BoxMac.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Simpson. This is Detective Don Brodka from Try and Save Security. That's right, Don Brodka. Your son Bart has been caught shoplifting. They weren't home. But I left a message on their answering machine. That's right.
Deploy that rotted cheddar.